The desert wind howled. As I stood in the wreckage of my home, the AR-15 steady in my grip, blood and ash staining the floor. Their voices haunted me. Maria's scream, Sophie's cries, ripped away by racist cops and cartel dogs. I'm Lucas Hayes, callsign Spectre, Delta Force hero, retired to protect my family. Decker's crew and Los Lobos thought they'd silence me, killing my wife, taking my daughter, all to bury their dope racket. They lit a fuse they can't extinguish. I don't stop. I hunt everything they hold dear. Now, I've got a crew, hard souls who've lost like me, and we're relentless. The cops who pulled the trigger, the cartel pulling strings, the bastards who dared touch my girl. They're all marked. I feel their fear already, hear their panic in the silence. They thought they'd break me, erase my blood. They unleashed a nightmare instead. They took my family first. I'll take their lives last. The wind whipped sand across the charred remains of my house, the acrid stench of smoke clinging to my clothes. I stood in the ruins, Arkansas 15 slung across my chest, fingers tracing the singed edge of Maria's necklace. My wife, my anchor, gone. My daughter Sophie taken. I'm Lucas Hayes, callsign Spectre, Delta Force vet with too many scars. I'd settled here near the border to give them peace after the wars. They took that from me. 2 weeks ago I'd stumbled on it. Patrol cars idling at the old quarry, cash changing hands with Los Lobos cartel runners. I'd warned Maria to stay low, started digging. Then they came, midnight, gunfire and screams. Keep your mouth shut, soldier. Decker had sneered as his cops shot Maria, torched the house, and dragged Sophie away. I'd fought free, too late to save them from the flames. They thought I'd break. They didn't know me. Tonight I started hunting. Deputy Vance, Decker's right hand, a loudmouth, was the weak link, drinking at a cantina off Highway 10. I slipped through the desert, wind masking my steps, avoiding headlights. The cantina's neon buzzed, locals oblivious to the storm brewing. I posted up across the street, behind a rusted truck, watching Vance stumble out, laughing like he hadn't killed my wife. I moved, silent, fast, grabbing him in the alley, arm locking his throat. He flailed, reeking of tequila. Where's my daughter? I hissed, knife pricking his neck. Decker, he choked, eyes wide. He's got her. Los Lobos deal, quarry. Where's he now? I pressed deeper. Safe house, old ranch, south. He gasped. Don't. I snapped his neck. Clean drop. First blood. Not enough. I torched his car, message sent, and headed south. The ranch loomed, lights faint in the dark. Footsteps crunched. I ducked low. A figure stepped out, armed, steady. Elena, Maria's sister, Beretta in hand. She'd been hunting too. You after Decker? She asked, voice hard. I rose, cautious, Arkansas 15 ready. He killed Maria, took Sophie. You. They took my sister, she said, eyes burning. I've tracked him, ex-cop, Mexico. I know their moves. Team up, I said. Ranch is the play. She nodded, gripping the Beretta. Let's hit it. We moved, shadows in the night, toward Decker's lair. Maria's laugh echoed. You're my shield, Lucas. I'd failed her then. Not now. The ranch crouched in the desert dark, its sagging roof lit by faint porch lights, wind howling through the scrub. Elena moved beside me in the shadows, her Beretta steady, eyes sharp with vengeance. 5 inside, she whispered, nodding at silhouettes through the cracked windows. Decker's got 2 patrols out back, sloppy, armed. 2 each, I said, checking my AR-15 suppressor. Quiet. Decker's mine. She nodded, fierce. Let's make him pay. We split, me right, Elena left. I hugged the shadows, wind cloaking my steps. The first patrol leaned against a shed, cigarette glowing. I slipped behind, knife to the kidney, silent drop. The second turned. I snapped his neck, easing him into the sand. Elena's side went smooth. 2 muffled pops, her Beretta silenced. We met at the back door, stacking up. It creaked open, unlocked, careless. Inside, Decker's voice growled. Vance should have checked in. Find him. I signaled Elena. Flashbang. She lobbed it through, light and thunder bursting. Shouts turned to screams. I stormed in, dropping a cop with a headshot, suppressor hissing. Elena followed, Beretta barking. 2 more down, blood pooling on dusty planks. Decker bolted for a side room, wiry frame, ducking low. I tackled him, slamming him into a wall. Plaster cracked. He swung a fist. I blocked, smashed his jaw. Blood sprayed. "Where's Sophie?" I snarled, knife to his throat. "With Los Lobos." Decker spat, grinning red. "You're too late, spick lover." I drove the blade through his chest. Slow, final. He gurgled. Gone. No mercy for that bastard. Elena rifled a table. Cash. Burner phone. A map. "Cartel drop," she said, tapping coordinates. "Warehouse. Border edge. Tomorrow." "We hit it," I said, wiping my knife. We torched the ranch, flames roaring in the night. Back at the Jeep, I gripped Maria's necklace. Her voice, soft, warm. I'd failed her. Not Sophie. Elena lit a cigarette, eyes distant. "Maria begged me to leave the force. Too dangerous. This is for her. For all of him," I said. The pursuit was on. The warehouse intel was gold. Border edge. A Los Lobos hub fueling Decker's racket. We'd gutted the sergeant. Now we'd bleed the beast. Elena knew a guy, Cole, ex-Delta, tall and grizzled. My old breacher from the teams. He'd lost a brother to cartel crossfire. 3 of us now, a crew forged in loss. We prepped in a desert shack, wind rattling the walls. I cleaned my AR-15, Elena loaded mags. Cole rigged Molotovs from scavenged bottles. 10 guards, Elena said, studying the map. "Trucks roll in at 3 a.m. "Power's the play," I said. "Cut it." Hit from the dark. Cole torched the crates. Elena, flank left. "I'll snipe right." Cole grunted, lighting a fuse. Booms my language. Night fell. The warehouse a dark sprawl under stars. We moved silent, splitting at the fence. I wired the breaker. Lights died. Guards cursing. Cole lobbed a Molotov. Flames roared. Dope crates blazing. I dropped 2 with scoped shots. Clean, quiet. Elena flanked. Beretta spitting. 3 down. Blood on sand. Cole charged. Shotgun barking. 4th guard's chest caved. I hit the yard, knifing a 5th. Throat opened. Silent drop. A sniper's round zipped past. I rolled, fired. Tower bastard fell. Trucks burned as Cole tossed more fire. Chaos spreading. Elena grabbed a ledger. Names, routes. A Los Lobos boss's mark. Reyes. "He's next," she said. Sirens wailed. Time to bolt. We piled into Cole's truck, flames lighting our wake. Back at the shack, I traced Maria's necklace. Sophie's voice. "Daddy's the best." I'd failed Maria, not her. Cole cracked a grin. "My brother took a bullet for this shit. This feels right." "Almost," I said. Reyes loomed. Reyes struck back. Cole's truck torched outside the shack at dawn. "You're next," scrawled in ash. We'd cut their flow. They'd cut our breath. The crew tightened. Elena pacing. Cole slamming fists. "They're scared," I said, flipping the ledger. "Next drops tonight. Old Quarry, South Side." We hit harder. Elena scouted. Tight lot. 8 guards. Reyes might show. "Good," I growled. "We get Sophie." "Ooh." We struck at dusk. Shadows deep. I rigged a tripwire. Grenade across the road. Cole took the ridge. Shotgun up. Elena wired a distraction. Car alarm. Half-mile off. My AR-15 hummed. Scope on the drop. Trucks rolling in. Alarm blared. Guards turned. I clicked the wire. Boom. 2 shredded. Cole blasted heads. 2 down. Elena flanked. Beretta roaring. 3rd fell. I moved, dropping a 4th. Clean shot. Reyes's SUV screeched in. Stocky, scarred, barking orders. I aimed. A guard tackled me, fist cracking my jaw. I rolled, knifed his gut. Down. Reyes peeled out, dust flying. "Chase," I yelled. We piled into Elena's Jeep, tires screaming. He'd lead me to Sophie. Back at base, I gripped Maria's necklace. Sophie's giggle, fading. I'd failed Maria, not her. Elena muttered, Maria's ghost screams for this. For all him, I said. The hunt tightened. Reyes's trail led to a safe house. Old barn. Desert edge. 2 pickups out front. He'd hole up. Call muscle. Maybe Sophie was there. We had hours. Elena drove. Cole patched a graze. I planned. Fast. Brutal. 6 guards, I said, scoping the barn. Elena left. Cole, right. I'll breach. We hit at midnight. Wind howling. I cut the power. Darkness fell. Guard shouted. I dropped 2. Suppressed shots. Elena knifed a 3rd. Cole blasted a 4th. Shotgun thunder. Inside, Reyes waited. Pistol up. You're dead, gringo. You first, I snarled, diving as he fired. Round grazed my arm. I tackled him, slamming his wrist. Gun fell. He clawed my throat. I smashed his nose. Blood sprayed. Cole pinned him. Shotgun to his skull. Where's Sophie? I said, knife to his throat. With El Jeffy. He spat. You're fucked. Who's El Jeffy? Where? I pressed deeper. Cartel boss. Compound. Across the border. He screamed. I drove the blade. Chest. Slow. He gasped. Gone. For Maria. I whispered. We grabbed files. El Jeffy's name. A stronghold. Back in the Jeep, I held Maria's necklace. Sophie's eyes. Scared. Alive. Close, baby girl. Cole stared out. My brother died. For this shit. We're close. Almost. I said. El Jeffy loomed. El Jeffy's files pointed to a compound. Stone walls. Guards. Across the border. Reyes's death shook them. But Cole took a hit. Sniper. Chest. Dawn ambush. We burned him by the dunes. Shotgun in the flames. 2 left now. Elena slammed the table. We're bleeding. El Jeffy next, but we're short. For Cole, I said, voice flat. We hit his convoy. Thin him out. Elena scouted. Desert pass. 8 guards. 2 trucks. I rigged a rock slide. Chaos bait. We struck at dusk. Stones crashing. Lead truck crushed. Guards fired wild. I dropped 3. Precise shots. Elena flanked. Beretta barking. 2 down. El Jeffy's voice crackled over a radio. Kill him. A sniper grazed my leg. I rolled. Fired. Headshot. Elena torched the second truck. Cash and dope blazed. We limped out. Files in hand. El Jeffy's lair. Next target. Back at base. I sat with Maria's necklace. Sophie's voice. Fading. I'd failed Maria. Not her. Elena joined. Grim. Cole was my friend too. El Jeffy ends this. For Allum, I said. The final pursuit neared. The convoy smoldered in the desert pass. Black smoke twisting into the dusk. The air thick with burned metal and dope. Cole's death cut deep. His shotgun still echoed in my mind. But the files we'd grabbed pointed across the border. El Jeffy's compound. A fortress of stone and steel. We'd gutted Reyes, shaken their chain. Now we'd sever the head. Elena and I holed up in a desert shack, wind rattling the walls. I cleaned my AR-15, suppressor gleaming, while Elena pored over the files. Walls, towers, 12 guards, she said, voice rough. El Jefe runs it like a warlord. Cartel pros. We've hit worse, I said, taping mags. Next shipment's tomorrow. Big sloppy. We strike there, thin him out. She nodded, loading her Beretta. For Cole, Maria, Sophie. For all of him, I said, Maria's necklace heavy in my pocket. We moved at dawn, scouting the shipment route. A narrow road, flanked by dunes, perfect for an ambush. I rigged C4 under a culvert. Small charge, big chaos. Elena took the ridge, Beretta and binos ready. My earpiece crackled, her voice, trucks inbound. 8 guards, engines growled, sand rising. I waited, finger on the detonator. Now, I hissed. The blast popped, culvert collapsed, lead truck flipping, crates spilling, guards shouted, rifles up. I sighted, dropped 2, suppressed shots, heads snapping. Elena flanked, Beretta barking. 2 more down. A guard fired wild. Round grazed my shoulder. I rolled, popped him. Chest hit. Elena pinned the last truck. Beretta roared. 5th guard slumped. The 6th ran. I tackled him. Knife to his throat. El Jefe, where's my daughter? Compound West Wing, he gasped. I snapped his neck. Quick, done. We torched the wrecks, grabbed a burner phone. El Jefe's voice, furious. Find them. Too late, bastard. Back at the shack, I gripped Maria's necklace. Sophie's giggle, soft and scared. I'd failed Maria, not her. Elena patched her hand, grim. Maria's screams, I hear him still. El Jefe dies slow. Slow and sure, I said. The compound waited. El Jefe's compound loomed like a cartel castle. Stone walls, razor wire, towers piercing the desert sky. The shipment hit rattled him. Guards doubled, but stretched thin. Elena and I had blood in our veins. This was the next step to Sophie. We prepped lean. My AR-15. Elena's Beretta, C4 scavenged from the convoy. West Wing's the target, I said, sketching the layout. Powers external, cut it, breach quiet. I'll take the tower, you hit the yard. Elena grinned. Dark. Like Juarez, Lucas, Alt de Boer. Deadlier, I said, checking my knife. All's night fell heavy, the compound glowing under floodlights. We crept through the dunes, avoiding patrols. I wired the power box. Spark, darkness swallowed the place. Boards cursed, radios crackling. Elena slapped C4 on the gate. Blast tore it open, metal screaming. I scaled the tower, grappling hook, biting stone. The sentry turned too late, knife to the spine. He dropped silent. I sighted the yard. Elena moving, dropping two with precise shots. I flanked, hitting a third. Headshot, clean. Chaos erupted. Shouts, gunfire. Elena tossed a flashbang. Light and thunder stunned a knot of men. I stormed in. Arkansas 15 barking. 3 down, blood on sand. A sniper's round zipped past. I rolled, fired. Tower bastard fell. Rifle clattering. We cleared the yard, bodies piling. Inside I barked, kicking the main door. Sophie was close. I could feel it. Back at the shack, I traced Maria's necklace. Sophie's voice. Daddy's coming. I'd failed Maria. Not her. Elena slumped, wiping sweat. Maria fought for Sophie, died anyway. This is her fight. Ours, I said. The end near. The compound's main hall was a bunker. Steel doors, narrow corridors. El Jefe's last stand. We'd cut his guard count, but the core remained. Cartel enforcers, armed heavy. Time ticked. I'd find Sophie or die trying. Elena and I stacked up, blood and sand on our boots. Vent shaft, I said, spotting a grate above. I'll drop in, you breach. Elena rigged C4, nodding. For Sophie, I crawled the shaft. Arkansas 15 slung tight, sweat dripping. It dumped me in a guard room. 2 men, radios buzzing. I dropped behind, knife flashing. Throat slit, quiet. The hall pulsed red. Alarms blaring. Breach, I keyed. Elena's blast rocked the door. Debris flew. Shouts erupted. I moved parallel, hitting a post. 3 guards. Panicked. Flashbang rolled. Pop. They staggered. 2 headshots. 1 chest down. El Jefe's office loomed. His voice cold. Kill them all. I peeked him. Tall and scarred. 4 heavies. Elena stormed in. Beretta roaring. 2 dropped. I flanked. Arkansas 15 bursting. 3rd fell. The 4th tackled me. I rolled. Stabbed his gut. Snapped his neck. El Jefe bolted. West Wing. I sprinted. Tackled him mid-run. He swung a blade. I parried. Smashed his face. Blood sprayed.
Here's my daughter.
I snarled. Knife to his throat. Upstairs. He spat. Defiant. I zip-tied him. Dragged him along. Upstairs. A locked door. Sophie's cries behind it. I blew the lock. There she was. Scared but alive.
Daddy.
She sobbed, clinging to me. Back at base, I stared at El Jefe. Maria's killer. Sophie's captor. Talk, I said. Knife ready. He smirked. You're too late. For Maria, I whispered, driving the blade in slow. He gasped. Gone. Elena hugged Sophie. Grim. She's safe now. Close, I said, but shadows nagged. Jeffy's file spilled a name. Senator Hargrove, the corrupt puppet tying it all together. He'd funded Decker, armed Los Lobos, and pulled Jeffy's strings from a penthouse in the city. Jeffy was a pawn. Hargrove was the king. Elena, Sophie, and I had blood left to spill. We locked Jeffy's body in a crate, burned it later. Hargrove's untouchable, Elena said, flipping files. Guards, cameras, downtown. Next meets in 2 days, penthouse top floor. We hit the meat, I said, cleaning my AR-15. End him. End this. Elena nodded, loading mags. For Cole too. We struck at dusk, penthouse glowing in the skyline. I rigged C4 on the garage, blast tore it wide, smoke rising. Elena flanked, dropping guards with silenced shots. I climbed a service shaft, sniping 2, clean kills. Sophie waited in the jeep, safe with a burner phone. The lobby erupted, gunfire, shouts. Elena tossed Molotovs, cars blazed, guards scattered. I stormed in, Arkansas, 15 barking, 4 down. A heavy tackled me. I rolled, knifed his throat. Elena took a hit, shoulder, bad. I dragged her to cover, firing back. Hargrove's voice barked over a speaker. You're dead. He'd bolt soon. We pushed inside, Elena bleeding but moving. The war wasn't over. Later, I gripped Maria's necklace. Sophie's voice. You're my hero. I'd failed Maria, not her. Elena patched herself. Grim. Cole's ghost rides with us. With us, I said. Hargrove waited. Hargrove's penthouse was a fortress. Glass walls, armed shadows, a senator's panic room. Elena's shoulder bled through the bandage, but her eyes burned. We'd hit the meat, buyers arriving, guards stretched. Time to cut the head and bring Sophie peace. Service elevator, I said, spotting a side shaft. Power's back there. Cut it. Breach fast. Elena grinned, weak but game. Let's finish it. We moved at midnight, city lights cold. I fried the grid. Lights died. Chaos flared. Guards shouted. I dropped 2 with suppressed shots. Elena flanked, Beretta spitting, 2 more down. We hit the elevator. Elena leaning on me, my AR-15 up. Doors slid open. Hall, 3 guards. I dropped them. Knife, shots, silent. The penthouse buzzed. Voices, deals. Elena tossed a flashbang. Light and thunder stunned him. I stormed in, Arkansas 15 barking. 3 buyers down, blood on glass. Hargrove stood, slick suit, pistol raised. Your ants, he snarled, firing. I dove, round grazing my arm. Elena lunged, weak. Hargrove shot her, chest blooming red. I tackled Hargrove, smashed his face. Gun fell. For Sophie, I growled, knife sinking into his gut, twisting. He gasped, gone. Elena slumped, breathing shallow. Get, Sophie, she rasped. I dragged her out, penthouse blazing, sirens closing. She faded in the jeep eyes, locked on mine, then still. I burned her later, Beretta in the flames. Alone with Sophie, I held Maria's necklace. You're enough. I'd failed Maria, not her. Hargrove's death severed the city's corrupt core, but his files whispered one last name, General Montoya, a retired Mexican military brass turned cartel shadow. He'd armed Decker's cops, bankrolled Los Lobos, and pulled Hargrove's strings from a fortified hacienda deep across the border. Elena and Cole were gone, leaving me and Sophie, my daughter, safe but scarred. I'd end Montoya, or he'd rebuild the rot that took Maria. I patched my arm, graze from the penthouse, in a border shack, wind howling outside. My AR-15 rested clean, suppressor gleaming. The files detailed Montoya's hacienda, bunkers, drones, 15 guards. A drop was set for tomorrow. Airstrip, midnight. I'd hit it solo, thin them out, and finish this, for Sophie's future. I rolled out at dusk, a stolen truck rattling over desert tracks. The airstrip sprawled, hangars, a runway. Montoya's plane prepped. I scouted, 12 guards, 2 drones overhead, power's key, I muttered, rigging C4 on the grid. I'd cut it, hit fast, snipe from the shadows. Night fell, shadows stretching. I triggered the C4, lights died, drones crashed, guards shouted. I climbed a hangar roof, dropping a sentry with a knife. Silent, I sighted, popped 3 more. Clean shots, heads snapping back. The airstrip erupted, gunfire, chaos. I tossed a Molotov, crates blazed, guards scattering. I slid down, hitting a knot of men. 4 shots, 4 kills. A drone rebooted, buzzing low. I chucked more. C4, blast shredded it midair. Montoya's voice barked over a radio. Hold them, he'd bolt soon. I pushed inside, boots steady on blood-slick concrete. The end was close. Later, I gripped Maria's necklace. Sophie's voice soft.
You're my hero.
I'd failed Maria, not her. Alone with my daughter safe, I carried them all. Maria, Elena, Cole, Montoya waited. Montoya's hacienda was a bunker, steel doors, armed ex-soldiers, a plane humming with escape plans. The drop was chaos, crates unloading, guards stretched thin. My arm ached, but my resolve burned. I'd end this, bring Sophie peace, or join the ghosts. Vent shaft, I said to myself, spotting an intake near the hangar. I'd drop in, breach solo. I crawled the shaft, Arkansas, 15 slung tight, sweat stinging my eyes. It dumped me in a guard post. 3 men, radios crackling. I dropped behind, knife flashing. 2 throats slit, third snapped quiet. The hall pulsed red, alarms blaring. I moved fast, hitting a squad, 4 guards, rifles up. Flashbang rolled, pop, they staggered. 3 headshots, 1 chest down. Montoya's office loomed, him, gray and stern, barking at 2 heavies. I stormed in, Arkansas, 15 roaring. 1 dropped. I flanked, bursting, second fell. Montoya fired a pistol. I dove, round grazing my shoulder. I tackled him, fierce, smashed his knee, gun clattering. You're done, I snarled, zip-tying him. Who else? He sneered. You're too late. The web spins on. For Maria, I said, knife to his throat. He laughed, defiant, cold. I slashed deep, blood sprayed. He slumped. I limped out, hacienda burning. Airstrip a graveyard. Back in the truck, I held Maria's necklace. You're safe, Sophie. Close family. The war wasn't over yet. One last shadow lingered. Montoya's files spilled a final name. Governor Ellis, the political puppet tying it all together. He'd shielded Hargrove, funded Montoya, and buried Maria's death from a luxury estate near the capital. Elena and Cole rested in ash, but Sophie was with me, safe waiting in a hidden safe house with a trusted friend. I'd finish Ellis for them, for the family I'd sworn to protect. I drove north, shoulder patched, Maria's necklace cold in my pocket. Ellis's estate was a vault, guards, cameras, high walls. A meet was set, buyers, midnight. I'd cut the power, hit fast, ended alone. The capital glowed at dusk. I parked a mile out, truck ditched. I wired the garage, smoke bombs popped, chaos drawing guards. I hit the service gate, Arkansas 15 up. 2 guards dropped, knife and shot, silent. The estate buzzed, voices, deals. I tossed a flashbang, light and thunder stunned him. AR-15 barked, 3 buyers down, blood on marble. Ellis stood, slick and old, pistol raised. You're nothing, he snarled, firing. I rolled, round clipping my vest. I tackled him, smashed his face. Gun fell. For Sophie, I growled, knife sinking into his gut, twisting. He gasped, gone. I torched the files. Estate blazed, sirens closing. I slipped out, blood and smoke trailing. Alone in the truck, I held Maria's necklace. You're enough. I'd failed Maria, not Sophie. Ellis's death severed the last thread. Cops. Los Lobos cartel. All ash. The ghosts. Maria, Elena, Cole, rested in the silence I'd carved. I buried their memory by the desert's edge, sand swallowing the weight. Maria's necklace stayed with me, a scar I'd carry forever. One last stop, the town where it began, with Sophie by my side. I drove back, dawn breaking over the dunes. The ruins of our home loomed, quiet now, the rot burned out. I knelt with Sophie, her hand in mine, the scorched earth beneath us. Maria's laugh echoed, "You're my shield, Lucas." I'd kept her in my heart, lost her to cowards. Now, I'd saved our girl. The files named no more, no shadows left. Decker's crew, Raya's men, Jeffy, Hargrove, Montoya, Ellis, all gone. I'd torn their empire down, piece by piece with Elena, Cole, and the ghosts riding shotgun. The cost was high. My wife, my friends, scars earned. But Sophie was safe. The scales balanced. We walked the town, necklace in hand. A kid waved, a local boy, free now. Sophie's fight won. She smiled, fragile, but real. I nodded, throat tight. Maria had lived for her, protecting, not killing. I'd killed for them. It was enough. Later we sat by a creek, water glinting under the sun. Sophie's voice broke the silence. Mommy's proud daddy. I could rest. The AR-15 stayed packed, the knife sheathed. No more hunts, no more blood, just quiet. A soldier's peace with his daughter. We left at dusk, road stretching empty. The necklace stayed in my pocket, lighter now. I'd promised them safety, kept it through hell for Sophie. The ghosts rested, Maria, Elena, Cole. I'd carry them, but the fight was done. For the first time, we breathed free.